using a ketoconazole as an antifungal medication won't help your pure eczema flare up, because that is the medication that would target the seborrheic dermatitis. You see, for the longest time I thought, and that was my understanding, that seborrheic dermatitis and atopic dermatitis, also known as eczema, is one thing. So I used to think of it as in like seborrheic dermatitis as a type of atopic dermatitis that attacks your scalp. And that was just a minimal understanding that I used to say, okay, this is how I will distinguish the seborrheic dermatitis, with the mere fact that it attacks your scalp. I was so shocked for my life when I discovered over the weekend that that is actually not the case. And how I discovered this is through a lady who came to my DMs and she needed help with dealing with her eczema. But what she said is what caught my attention and what changed the entire definition for me when it comes to seborrheic dermatitis and atopic dermatitis, also known as eczema. And why this information is important is because she was diagnosed at Baragwanath Hospital, and one of the dermatologists there said, after they did biopsy test. Now, a biopsy test is a medical procedure wherein a small sample of either your tissue, your cell, or your fluid is removed from your body to be examined under a microscope by a pathologist. She says after a biopsy test was done, a dermatologist from Baragwanath Hospital said, "This looks like a seborrheic dermatitis, but for now we will treat it like eczema." Then I said, whoa, isn't it that seborrheic dermatitis and atopic dermatitis, which is eczema, is one thing? Well, at least according to me and a little bit of understanding that I had, I've always thought and I've always viewed it as seborrheic dermatitis as a class, or perhaps let's say a type of atopic dermatitis and eczema. But from that statement, that then shed a light on an information that I never really cared to look deep into. She or he might be alluding to the fact that had it been that we diagnosed it as seborrheic dermatitis and we are treating it as a seborrheic dermatitis, it means we would use a different medication from one that we would use if we were treating an eczema. I don't know if you're with me, but I found that to be so interesting. And that is what occupied my entire weekend, because I've been trying to understand what is the difference then between seborrheic dermatitis and atopic dermatitis, also known as eczema. Maybe let's start here. Let's break down these words.